Hello everyone, my name is Erin Purrington and this is my implementation of the first part of homework 3. So the first thing I did was I set up my Bootstrap grid layout. I left 2 rows, first row for the header, second row for all the data, split into 2 columns with this one taking up 5 spaces and this one taking up 7, so slightly offset. And then I split this column again into 2 equal sized columns for the imagery in the data table. So then I had to draw my bar graph. And first things first, you've got to draw the bars, which was pretty easy. That was just doing recs like we did in the lab. I just used the height pixel field from the data objects to specify the width of the rectangle. Then I needed to add the building names. So first thing I did was offset all of the bars. Then I right-aligned the text using the text anchor attribute and realized that I wanted to have X not be 0 anymore, but I wanted to have it be equal to essentially the offset for the bars. Next thing was to do the height labels. I realized that I had to change the way I was selecting my text elements. Rather than selecting all text elements at once, I split it up into a building name class and a building height class, so I was able to address them individually. And then I did choose to do feet instead of meters, just to do something different. The next thing was to do event listeners, which I hadn't done before, so that was kind of new. Once I figured out that the event listener, upon clicking, would actually pass just the data object and not the whole list of data objects, that made things a lot easier. So I made sure I added a separate event listener each for the bars, the height, and the name label, just to make sure that everything was clickable. So on the click, I update the HTML in this handy dandy little Bootstrap table, and it will also update the image. One thing that caught me at the beginning was I was just appending the image, so I had image after image after image after image just scrolling down. So I realized that I had to somehow clear this container here before I added the new image. And then, if you can see, I did set a initial state for the table just so that it looked nice. Then I just did my CSS styling. As was mentioned in the lab, I looked at using a Google font, which was the first time I had done that, and that was pretty straightforward. You just include a link to the CSS file in your HTML header. And then I picked a color scheme. I sort of tried to match a little bit what was in the homework and ended up with colors I don't normally choose. Kind of looks like a 1980s dentist office, but that's a color scheme. So all in all, I thought it was a nice lab or a nice homework, and it was fun to play around with the interactivity. All right, thank you.